Supporters of the Bangsamoro Organic Law roll a last-minute campaign in Cotabato City ahead of the plebiscite on Monday. The Philippine National Police denies allegations of red tagging and harassment against members of the progressive groups. The Department of Foreign Affairs removes birth certificate requirement for passport renewal. And music artist Morissette and Forbes Spades win big in the 4th Wish Music Awards. Good evening. The Bangsamoro Organic Law supporters are making their last-minute campaign ahead of the upcoming plebiscite on January 21. Nel Maribuhok tells us why.
Various groups have launched peace caravans along the main roads of Cotabato City earlier to urge the public to vote in favor of the ratification of the Bangsamoro Organic Law. BOL supporters are in a bind as the campaign period will end in January 19. Oppositors of the measure are also busy installing posters to sway voters to reject the BOL and support the proposed federal government instead. Under the BOL, the current autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao or ARMM will be replaced by a more powerful Bangsamoro autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao. For the government, the ratification of BOL is the most important step in attaining the elusive, long-lasting peace in Mindanao.
Depende lang po sa ikauunlad ng karamihan. Kung yun ang mabuti, di okay.
Oh?
Ako? Personal? No.
Bakit po?
Kasi sa in my own opinion, bakit pa natin ipapasok? Nakita na natin kung ano ang nabago sa... Meron nang nakita na magagandang nangyari kahit hindi pasok sa BOL.
The Commission on Elections has scheduled 2 plebiscites for the BOL. First is on January 21 for the 5 provinces of ARMM, Isabela City in Basilan and in Cotabato City. The second voting is slated in February 6 for Lanao del Norte, towns of Alyosan, Carmen, Cabacan, Midsayap, Pikit and Pigkawayan and other areas that submitted petitions to include in the referendum. President Rodrigo Duterte is expected to visit Cotabato City on Friday. He is set to join a rally to lend his voice for the Yes to the Bangsamoro Organic Law campaign. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Cotabato City.
The Philippine military will deploy more troops and establish checkpoints in Sulu, Cotabato City and Lanao del Norte ahead of the plebiscite for the Bangsamoro Organic Law next week. Dante Amendo tells us why.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines is doubling its efforts to help secure the plebiscite for the ratification of the Bangsamoro Organic Law. The plebiscite is slated for January 21 in Cotabato City, Isabela City in Basilan and the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. A second voting on February 6 will be held in Lanao del Norte and North Cotabato. According to AFP Western Mindanao Command spokesperson Colonel Jerry Bisana, tight security arrangements have been prepared to ensure a peaceful and orderly conduct of the BOL plebiscite along with the Philippine National Police. These include the deployment of 10,000 personnel and support units and establishment of checkpoints, particularly in Sulu, Cotabato City and Lanao del Norte. The military is particularly focusing on these areas following a deadly blast in a shopping mall in Cotabato City last December 31, 2018, and other bombing attempts that were foiled by authorities. While it has yet to detect any security threat for the upcoming plebiscite, the military advises its ground troops not to let their guard down to prevent lawless elements from spoiling the process.
Unang-una, they exist because they wanted to sow terror. Pangalawa, they wanted to disrupt the plebiscite. Ang modus operandi nila is more on IED attack, employing only 2 prepaid people. So, kaya tudong bantay tayo sa Cotabato City at sa mga karating na lugar.
The BOL seeks to abolish the ARMM and replace it with the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, which would have been greater fiscal autonomy, a regional government, justice system, and parliament. The plebiscite will determine whether or the BARMM will be created and which areas will be included in the proposed new region. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue, Zamboanga City.
Former presidential spokesperson Roque is eyeing reforms in the country's judicial system if he wins a Senate seat in the coming midterm polls. Pelayo tells us why in this report.
If given the chance in Senate in the upcoming May midterm elections, former presidential spokesperson Roque says he would push for the inquisitorial system in court trials. The inquisitorial system, as opposed to the other method, the adversarial system, is a legal practice of exposing evidence in court where the judge acts not only as a passive recipient of information but is the primary responsible in gathering the pieces of evidence needed in the case while simultaneously representing the interests of the state. In an interview in the program Get It Straight with Daniel Razon, Roque stressed that with inquisitorial method, court proceedings will be expedited, unlike the adversarial system currently adopted in the Philippines, where the court only acts as a referee between the prosecution and the defense. Roque was among the legal counsel of the victims in the long-standing Maguindanao massacre, which remains unsolved since happened in November 2009.
Bulok ang sistema natin. Hindi gumagana, hindi katanggap-tanggap. At ang aking solusyon dyan, ibalik natin sa inquisitorial, gawin natin na ang West na ang kukuha ng ebidensya, hindi na mag-aantay na susumite ng ebidensya sa korte. No? Kunin na niya at siya na yung magdesisyon sa lalong mabilis na panahon.
He would also push to amend the existing Tax Reform Acceleration and Inclusion Law and propose to lower the oil price ceiling of $80 to $60 as basis for suspending the excise tax on petroleum products. Despite his views that are sometimes opposing of the President Rodrigo Duterte, Roque says he still supports the President's war on drugs and his policies regarding West Philippine Sea. He believes it is better for the Philippines to be friends with China to be able to negotiate matters lightly and easily.
Mas importante na makipagkaibigan tayo. Bakit? Kapag kaibigan mo ang isang bansa, mas madali ka magkaroon ng areglo. Wala namang pagkakaibigan sa kaso sa Pilipinas na kapag mabuti ang relasyon dun sa mga nagdidemandahan, mas maaga at mas malakas yung possibility na magkakaroon ng compromise agreement.
Roque thanked Kuya Daniel Razon for opening his program to election hopefuls like him to introduce their platform of government without spending a centavo.
Salamat at talagang salamat. Yung mga walang pera gaya ko ang pag-asa lang mga programang gaya nito.
Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Philippines and Sri Lanka signed 5 agreements during the visit of Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena in the Philippines. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
Agreements on defense and military education, agriculture, academic cooperation on higher education, tourism, and scientific research. These are the 5 agreements signed between the governments of the Philippines and Sri Lanka during the state visit of Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena in the country. Sirisena is in a 5-day state visit in the Philippines from January 15 to 19. This is the first state visit of a Sri Lankan chief executive in the Philippines in 43 years' time. After the welcome ceremony, an expanded bilateral meeting and signing an exchange of agreements was held. The two chief executives agreed to further enhance the relationship of the two countries.
The Philippines and Sri Lanka are developing maritime nations. We face common challenges, we have shared interests, and we are united by our desire to provide greater peace, progress, and prosperity for our peoples. These realities and aspirations behoove upon us to work together even more closely to provide renewed impetus and clearer direction of a greatly expanded partnership.
The Sri Lankan chief executive also invited President Duterte to visit Sri Lanka.
I have extended an invitation to President Duterte to undertake a state visit to Sri Lanka at an early date. President Duterte, your visit to Sri Lanka will provide an opportunity to evaluate the progress of the initiatives which we have discussed during my visit. I look forward to welcome you and Madam Duterte. We will carry forward our discussion and consider further step to manifest thoughts into deeds.
Meanwhile, President Sirisena will also visit Asian Development Bank, International Rice Research Institute in Los Baños, and Sri Lankan community in Manila. The diplomatic relations of the Philippines and Sri Lanka was established way back 1961. Rosa Licoz, UNTV, News and Rescue, Malacanang.
Asia's Phoenix Morissette Amon and rising funk rock band Four of Spades bags major awards in the recently concluded 4th Wish Music Awards held at the Big Dome. Monoxon tells us why.
So, wishers, are you ready?
Local artists took the center stage at the Big Dome on Tuesday for the 4th Wish Music Awards, hosted by Wish 1075. Starting the musical revelry were the Wishfuls and TNT Boys, who performed a medley of hit songs.
God knows I want to reign.
Local rappers Glock 9, Shanty Dope, Al James, Looney, and Ron Henley also offered memorable productions, as well as Filipino R&B king JR and crooner Jason D, who sang a groovy number with soul diva Jaya.
Can nobody do it like you? Said every little thing you do.
Muntik ako himatayin sa nervyos. I kept telling them na nininervyos ako, but it was so fun. So happy to be in the middle of these two powerful vocalists. Sobrang, I felt so like balanced, you know what I mean? I wasn't so nervous after all, and then they made me groove talaga.
Also serenading the crowd were some of today's hottest music stars: Morissette, Moira de la Torre, KZ Tandingan, and Julian San Jose. Wish Music Awards aims at recognizing exceptional talents of Filipino artists and their notable contributions to the Philippine music industry. And in its 4th installment, Morissette Amon and the rising funk rock trio Four of Spades were hailed as big winners. Morissette bagged 6 major awards, including the Wish Artist of the Year, Wish Exclusive Ballad Performance of the Year, and the Wish Pop Song of the Year.
And I'm just really, really grateful to Wish for giving us the platform to share our music to so many people around the world. Yeah, thank you so much and congratulations. Kasi syempre, this is all for a good cause. We're all helping out our beneficiaries and our foundations. And I think that's what's really special about the Wish Music Awards.
Meanwhile, Four of Spades received 4 major awards, namely Wish Group of the Year, Wish Exclusive Rock Alternative Performance of the Year, and Viral Video of the Year. The group is also the recipient of the very first Diamond Wish Exclusive Elite Circle Award for their Wish Exclusive performance of their hit song Mundo, which garnered over 103 million views and counting on YouTube.
Ma-recognize at this na parang nandito kami sa state na to na nagsisimula pa lang kami na gumawa pa ng music. So parang ngayon, parang mas naka-inspire gumawa pa ng mas maraming music.
Glock 9 bagged the Wish Exclusive Hip Hop Performance of the Year Award, Shanty Dope for the Wish Hip Hop Song of the Year, while Julian San Jose won the Wish Urban Song of the Year.
Malaking bagay, no? Ngayon kasi alam na ng mga gumagawa ng kanta na pag nakagawa sila ng original song, pwede na lang dalhin to sa Wish FM and pwede na lang i-perform na live eh. So napakalaking inspirasyon yan sa mga nagsisimulang artist.
The TNT Boys and the Wishfuls were also recipients of a special award called the Breaking Boundaries for their achievement as rising artists. A total of 26 other artists were included in the Bronze, Silver, Gold, and Platinum Elite Circle Awards. This particular category recognizes the artists who get at least 10 million views for their respective YouTube video. True to this year's theme, Breaking Boundaries, the WMA stage also served as a unifying platform, welcoming acts across different genres from both local and international music scenes, starting with Danish pop soul act Lucas Graham. He performed his worldwide hit called 7 Years.
They know me once I was 20 years old. My story got told. I was writing about all the things I saw before me. Once I was 20 years old.
I was not expecting a crowd to scream so wildly when I came on, and everyone was singing along. And I mean, I grew up in a small marginalized community, so coming 17 hours flight away from home and hear everyone sing along and scream when we walk on stage and appreciate our music, it really touches my heart and it humbles me.
As part of its journey of breaking boundaries, Wish 1075 innovator Daniel Razon unveiled some of his bold plans to continue the game-changing endeavors that the FM station has started, including the launch of the third Wish bus. Wish Exclusive Battle to be participated by music artists and their fandoms, and Wish Covery off-season involving government agencies.
All the world watch in the great anticipation the breaking of the Berlin Wall. The same manner or similarly, all the world watch in awe and admiration your Wish Exclusives. Saan nyo ginawa? Salamat po sa pagtitiwala at pagbibigay sa amin ng pagkakataon. Ginawa ninyo sa Wish 1075. For all of us. With God's help, umaasa po kami na mas malayo pa ang ating mararating. With God's help, we hope that we will be hearing all of you and more people, not only here in the Philippines, but all over the globe, whispering Wish 1075.
Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Up next on Y News.
Me warn all foreign fugitives hiding in the Philippines. The law will catch up with you.
The Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission turns over a high-profile fugitive to Chinese authorities.
There's really no other award-giving body like it.
And winning artists, chosen charities get cash donations from Wish Music Awards. Thank you for keeping me company in the first part of Y News. More reasons behind the stories with Angelo Castro III and William Thio after this quick break. I'm Rheena, Villamor-Camara. Good evening.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up from where Rheena Villamor-Camara left off. I'm Angelo Castro III, and here are the headlines. The Bureau of Internal Revenue warns drugstores failing to impose tax exemption on maintenance drugs. The Manila City Government identifies over 90 commercial establishments in Manila Bay without proper water treatment facilities. The Department of Education wants the use of public schools as evacuation centers minimized.
There's really no other award-giving body like it.
And chosen charities of winning artists get cash donations from Wish Music Awards. The Philippine government hands over to China a high-profile fugitive who is facing arrest and multiple corruption charges. Vincent Arboleda tells us why.
The Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission turns over to Chinese authorities a high-profile fugitive from China who was involved in billion-dollar economic crimes and corruption in his country. The suspect identified as Shi Haoji, was a former official of the Chinese government facing a standing warrant of arrest in China. He was nabbed by members of the Bureau of Immigration and PACC on January 13 at Shell residences in Pasay City.
We are just waiting for the tickets to be procured by the Chinese police, and he will be turned over in the airport. I think in a few days' time siguro.
According to China's National Supervisory Commission Director for International Cooperation, La Yifan, Xi, 49, served as general manager to a state-owned enterprise. He was accused of usurpation of authority by accepting bribe.
Certainly through initial investigations, there are hard evidence indicating that Mr. Xie, the fugitive, has breached the public trust and abused his public powers for his private gain.
Chinese ambassador to the Philippines, Xiao Jinhua, thanked the Philippine government for the speedy capture of the Chinese fugitive.
On behalf of the embassy, I would like to express our sincere thanks to the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission, to the Bureau for Immigration and Bureau of Investigation for their high efficiency in capturing the fugitive.
Last year, Chinese law enforcement agencies were able to repatriate more than 1,300 fugitives across the globe after recovering at least 3.5 billion yuan worth of embezzled funds from these suspects. The PACC meanwhile issues this warning against other foreign fugitives and their coddlers.
Let me warn all foreign fugitives hiding in the Philippines. The law will catch up with you, including coddlers in various agencies.
Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue warns to sue drug stores that will fail to implement the value-added tax exemption for medicine used to treat diabetes, hypertension, and high cholesterol. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
62-year-old Rodolfo Almariego breathed a sign of relief when he heard about the news that maintenance drugs for diabetes, hypertension, and high cholesterol are now exempted from value-added tax. Almariego suffers from heart disease. Every week, he spends at least 1,000 pesos for medications that he has to take since undergoing a major heart surgery in 2016. He has been working as a building caretaker for 25 years now and uses his income to sustain his needs.
Kahit pa paano, malaking bagay din yun. Yung mababawasan yung nagbili ko ng gamot. Siyempre, medyo mahal din yung iniinom ko dahil ano yun eh. Hindi parang ano siya eh. Mahal din eh.
Last January 1, the prices of medicine for diabetes, hypertension, and high cholesterol got cheaper because of VAT exemption under the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion Act, or TRAIN law. The Bureau of Internal Revenue warns drugstores and retailers of charges if they fail to implement the VAT exemption. Under the TRAIN law, violators may face a minimum of 6 months imprisonment.
Non-compliance with the tax law provision. So if found guilty na hindi tama ang pag-invoice sila, maaari po silang mapatawan ng penalty, and may imprisonment po yan na kaakibat na minimum 6 months.
Aside from these drugs, the Department of Health is also planning to push for the VAT exemption of medicines for cancer, as advocated by many patient groups and non-government organizations.
Ang strong clamor natin ngayon, which we are discussing with an interagency working group, yung gamot para sa cancer.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
The local government of Manila is looking to relocate more than 11,000 families before the rehabilitation of Manila Bay starts. Local authorities also warn over 90 establishments near Manila Bay to fix their water treatment facilities. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
The Manila City Health Department Division of Sanitation is prioritizing cleanup operations in 4 major drainages in the city, in line with the rehabilitation works in Manila Bay. These include Estero de Abad, which surrounds major establishments, hospitals, malls, and universities in the area. The City Sanitation Division recently found out that about 10% of the more than 900 commercial establishments in Manila are without water treatment facilities. The agency adds that even some government institutions in Manila also do not have water treatment plants.
We have a database for that, pero right now ang database namin is about 936 commercial establishments.
Such structures are given a chance to complete their requirements and establish their respective water treatment plants before mid-year. According to Halcon, some may have water treatment plants but are not operational. Concerned commercial establishments have said they just need some time to fix their facilities to be operational again. Meanwhile, the city government has started coordinating with the informal settlers around Manila Bay before the rehabilitation starts. The Manila LGU also coordinated with the local government of Cavite for the relocation sites of 11,000 affected families.
For the city of Manila, our receiving LGU is Tansa Cavite and Naik. Yeah, yesterday was discussed. It was Naik Cavite who offered their city or the area for relocation site.
The Manila City Division of Sanitation assures not to give exemptions to any establishments and institutions that violate the environmental laws. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
The Department of Education calls on local government units to build a structure that is capable to weather storms such as gyms or multipurpose centers. Aileen Cerudo will tell us why.
The Department of Education wants a safe and continuous learning for students despite calamities. With this, DepEd proposes for public schools to no longer be used as evacuation centers during calamities as part of its comprehensive school safety project officially launched in Pasig City earlier.
It also stands on its position that public schools are not to be used as evacuation centers in order to ensure the continuity of education even in the worst calamity situation.
DepEd records show that from 2016 to 2018, almost 44,000 schools were affected by natural calamities. Over 39,000 were hit by tropical cyclones and over 21,000 are damaged by earthquake. 17,937 of these schools were used as evacuation centers. DepEd also calls on local government units to build their own evacuation centers that can weather storms and offer refuge for affected residents.
DepEd has the support of the President that the local government units must build separate evacuation centers and avoid using the schools as such.
In partnership with several non-government organizations, the CSS program will also cover projects like school relocation, psychological first aid, trainings, as well as mobile apps for schools to be more prepared.
Yung information system, makakalap niya ang datos sa mga eskwelahan kung ano ang state of safety in the schools and actually guide the schools in terms of planning.
Aileen Cerudo, UNTV, News and Rescue.
Holders of Philippine passport issued until 2019 no longer need to present their birth certificates when renewing their travel document, according to the Department of Foreign Affairs. Joanano tells us why.
Foreign Affairs Secretary Teodoro Locsin has ordered to remove birth certificates as a required document to renew one's passport. Locsin said in a tweet that holders can present their old passport when applying for renewal. The order came amid concerns on an alleged data breach affecting Filipino passport holders. Locsin stated in a tweet last Saturday that a previous contractor ran off with all passport applicants' data after its contract expired. But he clarified later that it was not possible to steal the passport data and that its contents were only made inaccessible. The DFA secretary, however, clarified that the new order will only cover regular renewals of passport and not the cases where birth certificates issued by the Philippine Statistics Authority are still required. This include first-time passport applications, renewal applications for lost and mutilated passports, requiring changes in passport entries, renewal applications of old brown and green passports bearing no complete middle name, and those included in the department's watch list. The UNTV news team went to the DFA Asiana office in Pasay City earlier to check if the new order has taken effect.
Nanapan pa ba kayo ng birth certificate?
Hindi na ho. ID lang naman po eh. Mas mabilis pa po. Hindi na po yung maraming abala.
Nanapan pa ba kayo ng birth certificate?
Hindi na. Wala na. Okay naman Oo, very good.
Hinanapan pa kayo ng birth certificate?
Hindi naman. Okay naman. Yung ID, mabilis.
A recruitment consultant and migration expert welcomes the new order, saying this is a big relief for millions of overseas Filipino workers. According to Emmanuel Jaslani, OFWs will no longer be burdened of traveling back and forth to attend to the process of passport renewal.
Kasi karamihan ng OFWs natin, hindi lang naman nagtatrabaho sa mga syudad, sa mga kapitolyo ng mga mundo. Karamihan dyan, kunyari sa Saudi Arabia, ang mga job sites nila ay libo-libo ang layo magmula sa ating mga consulate.
Foreign Affairs Secretary Locsin has asked for the public's understanding as the agency is still trying to resolve the alleged data breach in the agency. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
Aside from giving recognition to a diverse lineup of music artists, the Fourth Wish Music Awards also granted cash prizes to charitable institutions chosen by each winner. Leslie Longbowen will tell us why.
Wish 1075 kicked off the new year with the culmination of the Fourth Wish Music Awards at the Smart Araneta Coliseum on Tuesday. Local music artists and wishers flocked to the Big Dome to witness the musical revelry and celebrate the diversity of the Philippine music industry. But aside from celebrating original Filipino music or OPM, Wish Music Awards is also a way to reach out to those in need. As in the previous years, charity played a key role in making each winner's victory more noble. Each winning artist received 25,000 pesos for each award, while their chosen beneficiaries received 100,000 pesos. Morissette, who bagged 6 awards in last night's award show, took home 150,000 pesos, and her chosen beneficiary, Maithripala Children's World Foundation Incorporated, received a total of 600,000 pesos.
There's really no other award giving body like it, kasi syempre yun nga, we're giving back. At the same time, parang ayun, sobrang nakaka-happy kasi we are recognized as artists and the hard work we do, at the same time we get to help out. And yun, dito ko lang po narinig yun, and I'm very very happy to be a part of the Wish family po talaga.
Meanwhile, 4 of Spades received 100,000 pesos for their group and 400,000 pesos for their chosen beneficiary, the Philippine Assistance for Hydrocephalus Victims, for winning 4 awards.
I think this is the very first award-giving body na nagbibigay ng cash along with the awards. So it's a very good idea that di lang kami yung nakakatanggap ng blessings, pero kasama din yung mga beneficiaries ng mga artists na nandito.
Other charitable institutions who received cash donations from winning artists include Veer Lane Foundation Incorporated, A Home for the Angels Crisis Home for Abandoned Babies Foundation Incorporated, Kai Foundation Incorporated, Children's Rehabilitation Center, Bethany House Santo Niño Orphanage Incorporated, Willing Hearts Orphanage Incorporated, Children's Mission Philippines, and Hills of Grace Foundation Incorporated.
Very thankful kasi aside from the trophy na hindi mababayaran ng salapi, we get to help people who need, like for example, may 100,000, sobrang laki na nun eh. Ang daming bata na mapapakain nun, daming bata na ang mabibigyan ng school supplies, 'di ba? So sobrang thankful na hindi lang ito. Kumbaga mas importante nga yun eh, parang mas mabigat sa puso ko yung award na yun eh, yung makatulong ka sa kapwa mo just by singing.
First-time guest and British UNTV actor Dan Evans was truly amazed by the concept.
I think it's an amazing idea. I don't think there's enough events like this where people give so generously to charity, so I think Wish are doing an amazing job.
Overall, Wish 1075 has given away 7.125 million pesos to the winning artists and their respective charities since it launched the Wish Music Awards. Wish FM's innovator Kuya Daniel Rozon hopes that the cash donations will somehow help and make a positive difference in the advocacies of the chosen beneficiaries.
Iba-iba lang ang mukha, pero ang ating intent and ang ating ultimate goal ay makapag-extend ng tulong sa lahat ng pwede nating maabot na matulungan sa iba't ibang mga pamamaraan. And kung meron tayong UNTV Cup, sa pamamagitan ng basketball, nakakaabot tayo ng mga charity doon sa ating mga kapwa-taong nangangailangan. Ito ay sa pamamagitan naman ng music na natutulungan na natin yung ating mga OPM artists na ipakita yung kanilang mga talento. At the same time ay may pagpatuloy yung ating advokasya na pakagawa ng kabutihan sa lahat ng mga tao, regardless of race, regardless of affiliation, regardless nung kanilang mga belief. Ang sa atin ay yung nangangailangan ay gusto nating maabot.
Leslie Longboan, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Up next on Y News.
Parliament has had 2.5 years and the government and Parliament has failed to deliver a coherent, workable Brexit deal. It's time to put this back to the people in another referendum.
Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon urges British Prime Minister Theresa May to hold another referendum as the UK Parliament rejects Brexit deal in historic vote. Roger Federer beats Dan Evans to reach Australian Open third round.
Gusto natin po mas marami pa tayong maisakay sa ating wish bus at mapanood sa buong mundo. Makita ang talento ng Pilipino na ito'y isang talentong maipagmamalaki kahit saan man tayo makarating.
And newly unveiled third Wish 1075 bus to hit the roads this year. And those are the reasons behind the stories in the second part of our newscast. Y News returns with William Thio. I'm Angelo Castro III. Good evening.